Shane Robert Bieber's name whispers of resilience, ambition, and a raw, unfiltered passion for pitching. As of late 2025, the 30-year-old right-hander's journey has earned more than just fame. His net worth is estimated to be tens of millions, driven largely by his MLB earnings, big league contracts, and high-stakes postseason moments. While the exact figure fluctuates in public estimates, his contracts and performance make clear that he's not just back, he's re-established. Early life. Shane Bieber was born on May 31, 1995, in Orange, California, into a world that would test his resolve before he even fully understood what was at stake. His parents, Chris Bieber and Christine Bieber, provided the backdrop for his early years. While his father was less present, his mother carried much of the responsibility. Raising Shane in a household that valued hard work, even a spotlight was never guaranteed. He grew up alongside siblings, though he's kept tight-lipped about many personal family details. What is clear is that he wasn't handed a golden ticket. His upbringing was modest, his path unclear, and his focus sharp. In high school at Laguna Hills High, Shane quietly stood out. Rather than being hailed as a prodigy, he was disciplined, perhaps overlooked. As a senior, he posted an 8-4 record with a 1.40 ERA, strong, but not enough to guarantee a scholarship at one of college baseball's heavyweights. Instead, he chose the University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB, walking on to the Gauchos baseball team. He didn't have name-brand pedigree or bold recruitment headlines, just determination. College career. At UCSB, Bieber's work ethic became his currency. As a walk-on, he had to prove himself every single day. By his sophomore year, his performance earned him a scholarship, a milestone that quietly but firmly changed his trajectory. During the summers, he didn't take the easy route. In 2014, he pitched for the Cowlitz Black Bears in the West Coast League, and in 2015, he headed east to the Cape Cod Baseball League, suiting up for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. These weren't just summer gigs, they were crucibles, sharpening his command and resolve. By 2016, his junior year, he was dominant, 12-4, with a 2.74 ERA in 18 starts. Scouts began to lean in, whispers of his potential rising. He had all the tools, control, poise, and a quietly deceptive arsenal. But more than that, he had a hunger. That year, he declared for the MLB draft, and the Cleveland Indians picked him in the 4th round, 122nd overall. Personal life. Off the mound, Shane's life is as layered as his pitching. He met Kara Maxine Kavajecz while both were students at UCSB. She was more than just his college sweetheart. Athletic in her own right, basketball, volleyball, even rodeo, ambitious and driven. The two dated through college and beyond. Kara is not just the wife of an MLB pitcher. She's a founder/CEO, Kinlike, a clothing brand, KM Collection, and she's also tied to a skincare line. In 2024, she even signed with the Ford/Robert Black modeling agency. On January 21, 2023, they married in a low-key ceremony in Malibu. Then came a new chapter. On March 14, 2025, they welcomed their first child, a son named Kara Maxine Bieber. For Shane, becoming a father was more than a milestone. It became a powerful anchor during his grueling recovery. He has spoken lovingly about how Kara's strength sustained him, how her calmness in the chaos of rehab anchored his own mental health. On Father's Day 2025, Shane received a special gift from Kara, a youth baseball glove light blue in color, stitched with both their names. He spoke then of breaking it in time for Cav, a small yet deeply emotional symbol of their shared future. Religion is not a dominant public theme in his story. Instead, the focus is on family, resilience, and a grounded private life. Kara's humor, strength, and partnership serve as his quiet power off the field. Professional career. The grind in the minors. After the 2016 draft, Bieber's professional story began in the trenches. He debuted with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, where he posted an eye-popping 0.38 ERA over 24 innings. That start wasn't a fluke, it was a declaration. He worked his way upward. Lake County Captains, Lynchburg Hillcats, Akron Rubber Ducks, each stopped polishing his command, his mental game, and his ability to navigate pro hitters. By 2018, In AAA with the Columbus Clippers, he threw a rain-shortened 7-inning no-hitter. Scouts took notice, but more importantly, he believed in himself. Breaking into the big leagues. June 2018, the call came. On May 31, 2018, his 23rd birthday, Shane Bieber made his major league debut with the Cleveland Indians, facing the Minnesota Twins. He struck out 6 in that debut, and though he gave up some hits, there was promise, the kind that whispers this is just the beginning. From 2018 to 2019, he carved out his place. As a rookie, his 11-5 record and 4.55 ERA showed good bones. In 2019, he broke out fully, making the All-Star game, and even earning the MVP of that very game. He was no longer a young gun. He was becoming a leader. The 2020 breakout, Cy Young Triple Crown. Then came 2020, the unforgettable year. In a season compressed by the pandemic, Bieber went 8-1, posted a 1.63 ERA, and struck out 122 batters in just 77 1/3 innings. He led the league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts, capturing the American League Triple Crown and winning the AL Cy Young Award. That explosive season wasn't just about talent, it was about focus, clarity, and seizing opportunity. In a world turned upside down, he became baseball's steady hand. Later seasons, setbacks and resilience. Bieber stayed dominant in Cleveland. In 2022, he threw 200 innings, landed a Gold Glove, and proved he could be both electric and dependable. But by 2024, his journey hit a painful pause. After 2 brilliant early season starts, he underwent Tommy John surgery on April 6th, ending his season. The road back was grueling, filled with rehab starts in the minors, self-doubt, and physical strain. But in 2025, the story evolved. The comeback and trade, new chapter in Toronto. On July 31st, 2025, the Cleveland Guardians traded Bieber to the Toronto Blue Jays in a high-stakes deal, sending pitching prospect Call Steven the other way. It was a statement. The Blue Jays believed in his talent, in his potential to lead their rotation. By August, Bieber was back. He debuted for Toronto on August 22nd, delivering 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, just 2 hits, and 0 walks, all on 87 pitches. It wasn't just a return, it was a reclamation. He closed the 2025 regular season with a 4-2 record, a 3.57 ERA over 7 starts, and 37 strikeouts in 40 1/3 innings. In the postseason, he made 5 appearances, going 2-1 with a 3.86 ERA. He earned Game 4 of the World Series, starting at Dodger Stadium, going 5 1/3 innings, allowing just 1 run and helping the Jays take a lead. In Game 7, he came out of the bullpen, a high-pressure moment. But in the 11th inning, he gave up a go-ahead home run to Will Smith that would prove decisive in the Dodgers' championship win. Despite the heartbreak, his value was clear. In November 2025, Bieber opted into his $16 million player option for 2026, staying in Toronto rather than testing free agency. He said the team felt unlike any I've ever been part of, signaling both trust in the Jays and belief in his own comeback trajectory. Character and reputation, more than just a pitcher. What makes Shane Bieber compelling isn't just his fastball or his curve. It's his character, his humility, and his relentless work ethic. Throughout his career, he's embraced the narrative of being an underdog. He didn't have top-tier recruitment. He walked on in college. He worked his way up in the minors. He returned from a major injury, not with bravado, but with quiet focus. Off the field, he and Kara give glimpses of a grounded, family-first life. Kara's presence, both as a partner and as a force in her own right, has often been described by Bieber as a rock. Their son, Cav, became a beacon during one of the darkest parts of his recovery. Their home life is kept largely private, no flashy mansion tours, limited public displays of wealth, which only amplifies his reputation. He's not about ego, he's about legacy. College, legacy, revisited. Looking back, his college years at UCSB seem prophetic. That walk-on kid, quietly confident, with enough fire to win a scholarship, laid the foundation for his MLB success. The summers in Cowlitz and on Cape Cod weren't detours. They were part of a deliberate plan, forging his maturity, control, and competitive grit. That plus his 2016 junior season, 12-4, 2.74 ERA, set him apart. Scouts saw the potential, but Schultz, his coaches, also saw something deeper. A player who believed not just in his stuff, but in himself. House tour and car collection. If you're looking for a flashing mansion and a garage full of Lamborghinis, you won't find it in Shane Bieber's public life. He's private. He's understated. Publicly, there is no confirmed house tour or detailed car collection profile for him as of November 2025. That said, his contract earnings and stature suggest he could afford a high-end home and quality vehicles. But so far, he chooses to let his performance do the talking, not his lifestyle. Legacy and why he matters. The story of redemption and belief. A modern underdog. Bieber's journey from college walk-on to Cy Young winner is a testament to grit. Resilience personified. Coming back from Tommy John surgery to help a new team in the postseason. It's more than physical recovery. It's mental fortitude. Partnership matters. His relationship with Kara isn't a side note, it's central. Their shared journey, mutual respect, and family life ground his ambitions. Trust over flash. By opting into his contract in Toronto, he showed he values belief, continuity, and opportunity more than chasing short-term cash. Quiet but impactful. He may not be known for fireworks off the field, but his presence is deeply felt by teammates, fans, and everyone who's followed his journey. As of today, Shane Bieber stands at a crossroads with momentum. He's healthy or healing, surrounded by a team that believes in him, and anchored by a family that supports him fiercely. He has a $16 million option for 2026, which he exercised, signaling that he's betting on himself, his health, and his place in Toronto's rotation. If he stays healthy and maintains the form that made him a Cy Young winner, he could cement himself not just as a frontline starter, but as a generational story, a reminder that talent, when mixed with perseverance, humility, and heart, can overcome nearly anything.